Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to proceed out of order for the immediate consideration of HJR 1016.
Okay, the motion is to proceed out of order for consideration of HJR 1016. Seeing no objection, so ordered. Mr. Kohler, please read the title of HJR 1016.
House Joint Resolution 1016 by Representatives Janal and Conti, also Senators Donovan and Tate, concerning the designation of April 12, 2016 as a day to celebrate Colorado's purebred dogs.
Representative Conti or Janal, either one. Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of I'd like to move HJR 1016 and have it read at length, please.
Is that a motion, Representative Janal?
Yes, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. Please proceed, Representative Kohler.
Whereas purebred dogs are bred to maintain specific breed characteristics, which makes a breed's temperament and behavior more predictable, from barking to retrieving to protecting to friendliness with strangers. And whereas purebred dogs are living legacies of the cultures that created them, and every breed was developed with a purpose in mind. And whereas historically these dogs have worked alongside their people and provided them companionship. And whereas today the service of these breeds continues as they work alongside humans and provide companionship beyond measure while serving as guide dogs, service dogs, therapy dogs, conservation dogs, livestock guardians, search and rescue dogs, earth dogs, police dogs, canine soldiers serving by the sides of our military men and women, and ultimately guardians of family, home, and hearth. And whereas purebred dogs have been of enormous help to medical science, serving as models for many heritable human diseases, playing a role in humanity's understanding of the human and canine genomes, and benefiting pharmaceutical research and development. And whereas purebred dogs are working dogs, serving as avalanche dogs, trackers and trailers, herders, controllers of vermin, water rescuers, carting and sled dogs, retrievers, protectors, hunters, and bird dogs, and always they are the heartbeat of a companion near and dear to humans. And whereas all dogs should be valued, whatever their ancestry, but the purpose-bred dog and the predictability of its breed should be cherished and preserved. And whereas each breed is indelibly etched in the history of the culture that created it, just as surely as that culture's music, art, and language. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Representatives of the 70th General Assembly of the State of Colorado, the Senate concurring herein, that we, the members of the General Assembly, on April 12, 2016, proudly recognize and celebrate Colorado's purebred dogs and the many service and companion benefits they provide in Colorado.
Representative Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise in support of HJR 1016. Dogs, whatever their breed, fill our lives with love, our hearts with devotion, and a very special and very complex emotional bond. I just want to share a couple of lighthearted things with you right now, because if you're a dog owner and if you're a dog person, you know you are if you have lint wheels that are on your shopping list every week. You have baby gates permanently installed at strategic places around the house, but no babies. You can't see out the passenger side window of your car because there are dog's nose prints all over the inside. You don't think it's the least bit strange to stand in the backyard in the evening or in the morning chirping Alex, Titi, over and over at your dog who tends to play and forget what he's out there for. Your weekend activities are planned about taking your dog for a hike. And you shovel a zigzag path in the backyard snow so your dog can reach all of his favorite places. As dog owners, we hope we can give back to our dogs as much as they have given to us each day. Canines are the most unselfish companions on the face of this earth. It's never about them, it's always about you. They never read into anything, they never judge you, and they never abandon you. I am continually amazed at a dog's ability to love so unconditionally and without ambivalence. You cannot impress your dog with beauty, with wealth, with possessions, or with power. And what makes a dog follow us from room to room, I've always questioned. And I often thought it was fear or insecurity. But I thought, through my many years shared with dogs, I now believe that it's fear of missing out on an adventure. They thought that maybe I was going somewhere fun and interesting, and they might get left behind. They just wanted to be with us. Nothing is worse for a dog than telling him he cannot go with you in the car or on a hike. Any dog person knows that a dog's name is just the beginning. It's the baseline for a lifetime of endless variations, many based on simple, not to say idiotic, repetitions on terms of endearment. Many of these names are never used outside the home. And I would bet that each and every one of you out here watching, all of you dog owners know exactly what I'm talking about. Dogs never give up. Do you think a dog that has cancer knows it has a life-threatening disease? Even if they're aware of the fact that they're sick and something's wrong, they can't comprehend the weight of that terminal diagnosis. And they certainly don't throw in the towel and stop fighting. They take everything, even the really scary stuff, one day at a time. Knowing that no matter what happens, a life filled with loved ones to snuggle and bowls filled with food is a life to be cherished and celebrated, regardless of what happens the next day. And one of the most serious responsibilities we assume is developing the wisdom to know when to end their lives with dignity. Our dogs do not understand their suffering, and they trust us to have their best interests in mind. Listen to your dog. How can there be no sadness or tears and hesitation when we look back at a lifetime of love and affection? This is the one time compassion overrides our own selfishness. There's a saying that I found from Ecclesiastes, sorry, I always get that wrong. Never hear the end of that one.
It's only a word from 500 BC.
Stop that. A loyal friend is a powerful defense. Whoever finds one has indeed found a treasure. A loyal friend is something beyond price. There is no measuring his worth. To all of our beloved dogs, of all shapes and all sizes, I rise in support of this resolution.
Representative Conti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I rise in support, obviously, of this House Joint Resolution 1016, mostly because of the accidental way that I came into the world of purebred dogs. It just happened to be because I fell in love with one. Back in the 80s, I was given a gift of an Old English sheepdog, and that became the love of my life. And it just so happened that she happened to be the pick of her litter, and the breeder wanted to use her as a show dog. So I was thrust into the world of AKC and dog showing for confirmation. I learned a whole new language and a whole new world that I had never known or seen before. But I also learned of the love that these breeders have for their breeds and for their dogs, and the painstaking efforts that they entrust and put into this love to ensure that everything that they are doing for their breed is going to be a service for the breed. If they are going to use the dog in breeding, they examine, they look at the DNA evidence. What has that dog previously produced? Can we find any recessive genes that have shown themselves? And they go to great painstaking efforts to make sure that they are always doing that breed a service rather than a disservice. Any dog testing hips, eyes, patella, and paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for these tests to ensure that they are putting out a solid, healthy product that is known for its temperament and its uses. And it is for these reasons, and because of my own knowledge and life into purebred circles. After my Lady Althea passed away at the age of 14, I also had a Jack Russell Terrier that I despite the fact we had 5 acres for that dog to run and varmints for it to chase, filed under N for never again. After that, we also had a Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. When I looked up the history, because every dog does have a history, when I looked up the history on that dog, I was amazed to find out that it was bred, and I quote, to warm the laps of the sick and on chilly carriage rides. And this was an absolute, just, heartwarming rendering. There are many of the AKC dogs that were bred for companion, but some that were also bred for absolute working on the farm, working on the ranch, service dogs, and we're going to hear and see some of those a little bit very soon. So I, again, rise in strong support of this resolution and encourage you to do likewise.
Further discussion, Representative Court.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Representative Conti, thank you for bringing this resolution. I love all dogs. I love purebreds, I love mixed breeds, I love all dogs. And one of my favorite dogs, besides my own new baby, Sienna, is former Speaker Andrew Romanoff's dog, Zorro. Many of you know about Zorro. And when my last lab and he met when they were puppies, they fell in love. And they were complete companions for all the time that my last lab was alive. When we got our new little girl, Sienna, whose picture you just saw, Zorro wasn't quite sure what to do with her. I mean, he's an elderly gentleman and she's a little feisty little girl. But they have become lovers too. They love to spend time together. And when Zorro's tired of her, he goes like this. And she doesn't get the hint. But they do love each other. They spend a great deal of time together. And I just want to thank you both for bringing this resolution because I think they are the best companions around. And we all know that when no one else likes us, our dogs still love us.
Representative Escar.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, I am an owner of a purebred dog, but she found me. I didn't go seeking her. She kind of fell into our laps, and that's a golden retriever. And I never understood the love that a golden retriever can give. And as I stand here today to support this resolution, I also want to remind people that there are purebred rescues. If you're looking for a purebred, look to a rescue. Look for an animal who is looking for a home. And also, let's not forget about the many, many, many dogs that are still sitting in shelters every day looking for a home that may not have the purebred tag, but can love you just as much and just as hard as any purebred as well. Thank you.
Representative Brown.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We have dogs. They're a little different from your dogs, and somebody in agriculture, they see 3 or 4 dogs in a car and they say, what in the world are those people doing? But you love those dogs. And I've always wondered about that, and I think that dogs are a tie with city people back to agriculture. I think that taking care of dogs is just an instinctive thing that ties you back to agriculture. And it's indicative of how we in agriculture feel about our animals. Now we're going to start lambing here in the 5th of May. And in a matter of about 17 days, we'll have over 5,000 baby lambs. And every one of those baby lambs is important to us. And we spend 24/7 making sure that they nurse and that they get up and that they live. And we love those animals. And that, I think is one of the reasons that city folks like those dogs so much. We have working dogs, breeds that you might not have heard of. Of course, you've heard of the Pyrenees, but have you heard of the Akbosh? Have you heard of the Marimas? And these are dogs that have been bred to protect livestock. And And we love those dogs, but more importantly, those dogs will put their lives on the line against coyotes and mountain lions and bear to protect the sheep. They're bred to do that. So dogs are very important. I'm glad you love your dogs.
Is there further discussion on HJR 1016? Seeing none, is there objection to taking a voice vote? Seeing no objection, Mr. Kohler, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Oh, no, I beg your pardon. There is no objection to a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, no. HJR 1016 is adopted. Representative Conti.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the current roll call be added as co-sponsors.
The motion is that the current roll call be added as co-sponsors. Is there objection? Seeing none, so ordered. Thank you. And would you like to do introductions? Please proceed. Representative Conti or Janal? Janal.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. We're kind of sharing the introductions, and the first dog and owner I would like to introduce is a golden retriever by the name of My Blue, and his owner is Fran Mays, who is over there. Thank you, Fran. A lot of people know Fran from being around the Capitol. She has a service dog. Goldens excel in obedience because of their strong inherited desire to work closely with their owners in hunting and retrieving game birds. But the desire is now expressed in non-hunting homes as an insatiable desire to retrieve tennis balls and also to be service dogs, great family dogs who are gentle and patient with their children. Thank you so much for bringing My Blue here today.
You also notice that we have some of our beloved AKC dogs over here on this side of the house, and I'd like to point out Wildflower's Rico. Rico is a 9-month-old Havanese with his owner and breeder, Laura Burgess. He's an AKC champion already at the young age of just 9 months. This Havanese is a companion dog and national dog of Cuba. The history of this breed dates back to the 1500s, and they were prized by the resident Spanish aristocracy in Cuba. Today, the dogs of show quality sport and a thick, luxurious coat. And please, if you don't take an opportunity to go feel this coat, it's somewhere between silk and cotton. It's absolutely incredible. The dogs and these Havanese breeders also volunteer to do rescue of Havanese that are incorporated in the Colorado Havanese Club. Laura has been an active volunteer for both of these organizations for over 10 years.
And I also want to introduce Chico. Where's Chico?
Right over here.
Well, Chico's over there. He's an 8-year-old rescue Havanese who was found wandering coal flats.
There we go.
We have no idea about his history, and only that he does his best to be sweet, and he really is a very sweet dog. This wonderful boy is handled today by Liz Quinby, another volunteer for the Havanese Rescue Incorporated and the Colorado Havanese Rescue. Thank you very much, Liz, for bringing Chico today.
Okay, we also have Penny, who's a Norfolk Terrier, I believe is on this side of the house, yes. Penny is an AKC champion and has her Earth Dog and Lure coursing titles. This breed was developed in the 19th century to control rats and other pests. They are a typical terrier, independent and full of love of life. And definitely, last but not least, we have an Australian cattle dog with us. Oh, my goodness. There we go. And his name, let's see. Do I have it in here? Oh, okay. Okay. Whip. Oh, that is his name. I'm so sorry. His name is Whip, and he is the Australian cattle dog. His breeder is Sherry McLennan. Whip is an AKC Grand Champion, as well as certified AKC Canine and Good Citizen. He also works on a large ranch in eastern Colorado and is a fourth-generation working dog. He's only 3 years old, but already a great helper on the ranch. Whip's sire, who is 13 years old, still occasionally works on the ranch and is also an AKC champion. Whip was bred for a purpose, working cattle and sheep. The Australian cattle dog is used in Australia and the outback and was developed to work all day, helping ranchers manage livestock. Cattle ranches need a dog that is able to go and move livestock with ease. Whip was produced from generations of herding dogs and their inherited working abilities.
And we're also proud to have Diane Wilson, AKC field representative, here to help us honor purebred dogs. Diane, welcome. She is a second-generation dog breeder, former dog show handler, and Colorado resident and Broncos fan. We thank her for her dedication to purebred dogs and to responsible dog breeders in our state.
Also present is Louise Leon, president of the Colorado Federation of Dog Clubs, which helped gather these dogs here today to celebrate this resolution and recognizing the unique contributions of purebred dogs in the state of Colorado. Thank you for being here. Oh, and also, yes, absolutely. Thank all these people for being here. We would also like to give special commendation to Ms. Linda Hart, who has also helped us a great deal in coordinating not only some of the photos that you saw today and images, but also the wording of the resolution in coordination with the American Kennel Club. So thank you, Linda.
Thank you, Representative Janal and Representative Conti. And we'll take just a very brief, no more than 5-minute recess so that we can say hello and goodbye to the doggies who are here and thank their owners very much.